So, have you ever wondered how the websites and apps we use every single day actually get built? From just a tiny spark of an idea all the way to a full-blown product you can use? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to break down that whole structured, super detailed journey every website has to go on before it ever sees the light of day.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You're on a website, you click a button, and crickets. Nothing happens. Or the page just spins and spins, taking forever to load. Or maybe the whole layout is just so confusing you can't find anything and you just give up. That feeling, that frustration, it's not just bad luck. Almost every single time, it's a symptom of a project that went completely off the rails somewhere in the background.
So, it turns out most of these digital disasters can actually be traced back to one of three main villains. The first one is called scope creep. This is where just one small request gets added, and then another, until a simple project balloons into this uncontrollable monster. Then you've got poor communication. This is a classic. It's when the clients, the designers, and the developers are all imagining completely different things. They're not aligned at all. And then, maybe the most dangerous one of all, a total lack of testing. This is what lets a buggy, broken, super frustrating product escape into the wild.
Okay, so how do the pros avoid this minefield of problems? Well, they definitely don't just wing it. They use a roadmap. It's called the Web Development Lifecycle, or WDLC for short. Think of it as a proven, step-by-step guide for getting a project from A to Z, from an idea to a successful launch, without everything blowing up. All right, let's get into it. Step 1. And honestly, this first phase, it's the most critical one, no question. This is where the success or failure of a project is pretty much decided, way before anyone even thinks about writing a single line of code. It is all about the planning, the strategy, building that rock-solid foundation. You'd think, right, that building a website starts with all the tech stuff. But nope. The really great ones, they start with people. Teams will literally create what they call user personas. These are these super detailed, fictional characters who represent their perfect customer. Why? Because it makes sure that every single decision they make, from the page layout to the features they build, is completely focused on solving a real problem for a real human being.
Okay, so after they know who they're building for, they have to decide how they're going to build it. And there are two main ways to go. You can use the waterfall method. This is kind of like building a house, right? You have to finish the foundation 100% before you can even start on the walls. It's very linear, very rigid. Or they can be agile. This means working in these short, flexible 2 to 4 week cycles called sprints. You build a little, you get feedback, you adapt, and you go again. Which one do you choose? Well, it really just depends on how complex the project is and how much things might change along the way.
And then, of course, they got to pick their tools. This is what's called the tech stack. You can basically think of it as the engine that makes the whole website run. It's the specific combination of programming languages and software that's going to power everything. I mean, everything from the buttons you click on the screen to the way your data gets saved on a server somewhere.
Okay, so the plan is solid. The blueprint is done. Now it's time to actually build something, to turn those plans into something we can see and touch. This is the design and development phase, where the ideas finally start to look like a real website.
This whole visual part usually happens in 3 big steps. First up, you got the sitemap. It's really just a simple flowchart that shows all the pages on the site and how they connect. From there, designers build a wireframe. Think of this like a black and white skeleton of a web page. No colors, no fancy fonts, just the bare bones layout. And then, the last step before the real coding begins is the prototype. This is a high-quality, clickable model that looks and feels almost exactly like the final product. It lets everybody play around with it and test the whole user experience super early. So why all this focus on design? I mean, is it really that important? Well, check out this number. A whopping 38% of people will just bail on a website if they think the layout is ugly or hard to use. 38%. That tells you everything. Good design isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for keeping people from clicking away. So once everyone signs off on the design, the coders finally jump in. They start with what's called the front end. This is literally everything you see and touch in your browser. The colors, the fonts, the cool little animations on the buttons, all of it. It's the part of the website you actually interact with. And then there's the back end. If the front end is what you see, the back end is the invisible brain of the whole operation. It's the server, the database, all the complicated stuff that happens behind the scenes. So when you log into your account or add something to a shopping cart, that's the back end doing all the heavy lifting you never see. So, the site is built. It's done, right?
Not even close. Before a website is ever shown to the public, it has to go through what you could call the quality gauntlet. It's this whole series of intense, rigorous stress tests designed to find and fix every single possible flaw.
I really love this way of putting it. Testing isn't just some boring chore where you check off boxes. It's a mission. And the goal is incredibly simple. The team has to try and break the website in every way imaginable, so they can find and fix all the bugs, all the glitches, all the security holes before a real user does.
And we're not talking about just one test here. A proper quality check hits the site from all angles, like does every single button and link actually work? That's a functionality test. Is the site actually intuitive and easy to figure out? That's usability. Does it look all messed up on your phone or in a different browser? That's compatibility. What happens if 1 million people visit it once? Does it crash? That's performance testing. And of course, is it vulnerable to hackers? That's security.
All right, so the website has survived the gauntlet. It passed all the tests. Now it's finally ready for launch day. It's grand opening. But here's the thing that a lot of people miss. The launch isn't the finish line, not by a long shot. It's actually just the beginning. It's the start of its life out in the real world.
And this really gets at a key idea. A website isn't like a printed brochure that you just leave on a shelf to collect dust. No, it's a living, breathing product. It needs constant attention. We're talking regular updates, security patches, new improvements, just to stay healthy and useful in a world that is constantly changing.
This gives you a pretty good idea of what that ongoing life actually looks like. So day 1, right after launch, they'll do a quick smoke test, just to make sure nothing immediately caught on fire, metaphorically speaking. A couple weeks later, they're already applying the first security patches. Fast forward to month 3, maybe they're tweaking the database to make things run faster. And by month 6, they could be rolling out a brand new feature that users have been asking for. You see? It's just this constant cycle of maintenance and improvement.
So, next time you open up your favorite app and everything just works seamlessly, take a second to remember this whole hidden journey it went on. Think about everything from those early user personas that were created just for you, all the way to those intense performance tests that keep it from crashing when you need it most. After hearing all this, what's the one invisible step in this whole process that you appreciate a little bit more now?